The washing machine gave an ominous clunk, followed by a high-pitched whine that made Isaac Vaughn wince. Not again. The ancient appliance had been on its last legs for months, but he'd hoped it would survive at least until payday. With a sigh, he pulled his 7-year-old daughter Lily's soccer uniform from the sudsy water. Water dripped onto his worn work boots as he wrung out the small jersey. "Is it broken again, Daddy?" Lily asked, peering around the laundry room door with wide brown eyes that matched his own. "Looks that way, sweetheart," Isaac said, forcing a smile. "But don't worry, I'll have it fixed before your game tomorrow." "Promise?" Lily bounced on her toes, her dark pigtails swinging. "Promise, now go finish your homework while I figure this out." After Lily scampered off, Isaac ran a hand through his short, dark hair and assessed the situation. Being a single father to an energetic 7-year-old while working as a handyman wasn't easy, but he managed. Barely. The washing machine was just one more challenge in a long line of them. Isaac grabbed his toolbox from the hallway closet. If there was one advantage to being chronically broke, it was that he'd become pretty good at fixing things himself. The washing machine had been a second-hand purchase 3 years ago, and he'd kept it running through sheer determination and YouTube tutorials. He was elbow-deep in the machine's guts when his phone rang. Wiping his hands on a rag, he answered. "Vaughn Handyman Services. Mr. Vaughn." "This is Margaret from Hillcrest Estates. One of our residents has an emergency with a washing machine. Are you available this afternoon?" Isaac glanced at his own disassembled washing machine, then at the clock. It was just past 3. "I could be there by 4, he said, mentally calculating. Hillcrest Estates was the luxury housing development across town. The pay would be good, maybe enough to buy parts for his own machine and still cover this month's bills. "Excellent. I'll text you the address and access information," after arranging for his neighbor Mrs. Chen to watch Lily. Isaac loaded his tools into his battered pickup truck. The contrast between his neighborhood and Hillcrest Estates couldn't have been more stark. As he drove through the ornate entry gates, past manicured lawns and houses that looked like they belonged in magazines, he felt the familiar weight of being out of place. The address led him to an elegant 3-story home with a circular driveway. He parked his truck, painfully aware of the rust spots and dented fender, and approached the front door. A housekeeper answered his knock and led him through the immaculate home to a laundry room bigger than his kitchen. Standing beside a state-of-the-art washing machine was a woman in her early 30s, dressed in yoga pants and a simple t-shirt that probably cost more than his entire wardrobe. Her honey blonde hair was pulled back in a messy ponytail, and she was frowning at her phone. She looked up when he entered, and Isaac was momentarily caught off guard by her striking green eyes. "You must be the repairman," she said, slipping her phone into her pocket. "I'm Emma Harrison." "Isaac Vaughn," he replied, setting down his toolbox. "I understand you're having trouble with your washing machine. It started making this horrible noise during the spin cycle," Emma explained, gesturing to the sleek stainless steel front loader. "Then it just stopped working completely. I have an important charity gala tomorrow night, and the dress I need is inside." Isaac nodded, already examining the machine. "Let's take a look." As he worked, Emma hovered nearby, occasionally asking questions or offering to get him something to drink. Despite her obvious wealth, there was something refreshingly unpretentious about her. "So do you work for a big repair company?" she asked as he removed the back panel. "I'm independent," Isaac replied, focusing on the motor. "Been doing this for about 5 years now. And do you like it?" Being on your own, Isaac paused, considering the question. No one usually asked him that. "Most days, I like the flexibility, especially with my daughter." "You have a daughter, Lily. She's 7. He couldn't help the smile that crept onto his face. "Smart as a whip and stubborn as they come." "She sounds wonderful," Emma said warmly. "I always wanted children, but—" She trailed off, a flicker of something sadness crossing her face before she changed the subject. "So what's the verdict on my washing machine? The drive belt is shot, and there's a problem with the motor coupling. I have some parts in my truck that should work as a temporary fix until proper replacements can be ordered." "How long will that take?" "For the temporary fix, about an hour. For the permanent repair, you'll need to order parts that might take a few days." Emma bit her lip. But you can get my dress out today, definitely. Thank goodness, you're a lifesaver. While Isaac worked, Emma made a few business calls, her tone shifting from the friendly warmth she'd shown him to something more authoritative. From what he could gather, she ran some kind of tech company. Sorry about that, she said after hanging up. Work never stops. I know the feeling, Isaac replied, tightening a bolt. What's your daughter like? Emma asked, surprising him again with her interest. Isaac found himself telling her about Lily's soccer obsession, her collection of rocks and pine cones, and her recent fascination with space. Emma listened attentively, asking questions that showed she was genuinely interested. She sounds amazing, Emma said when he finished. You must be very proud. I am. She's the best thing in my life. Isaac stood up and wiped his hands. All right, let's see if this works. He pressed the power button and the machine hummed to life. Emma's dress completed its cycle without incident, and when the door unlocked, she let out a small cheer. Perfect. What do I owe you? She asked, reaching for her purse. Isaac quoted his standard rate, adding a small amount for the parts. Emma handed him a credit card without blinking, though the amount would have given him pause. I really appreciate this, she said as he processed the payment on his mobile card reader. Most repair services couldn't come out until next week. Glad I could help. Isaac packed up his tools. You should schedule a follow-up appointment for the permanent repair, though. That temporary fix won't last forever. Could you do it? I'd rather work with someone I know is reliable. Sure, just call my number when you're ready to schedule. As Isaac drove home, he found himself thinking about Emma's green eyes and the way she'd listened so intently when he talked about Lily. It was silly, he knew. Women like Emma Harrison didn't look twice at guys like him. Besides, he had more important things to worry about, like fixing his own washing machine. When he got home, Mrs. Chen informed him that Lily had already eaten dinner and was working on an art project. He found her at the kitchen table, surrounded by colored paper and glue. How'd it go, Daddy? She asked without looking up from her creation. Good. I fixed a fancy washing machine and made enough to fix ours. Does that mean I can have clean socks for soccer tomorrow? Isaac laughed. Yes, princess, clean socks guaranteed. The next morning, while Lily was at her soccer game wearing clean socks as promised, Isaac managed to fix their washing machine using some of the same techniques he'd applied at Emma's house. It wasn't pretty, but it worked at least for now. He didn't expect to hear from Emma again, assuming she'd call some high-end repair service for the permanent fix to her machine. So he was surprised when his phone rang 2 days later with her number on the display. Mr. Vaughn, it's Emma Harrison. I was wondering if you could come back to fix my washing machine properly. The temporary solution is starting to make noise again. Of course. I have some time tomorrow afternoon if that works for you. Perfect. And actually, I was also wondering. This is going to sound strange, but my dishwasher is making an odd clicking sound. Would you mind taking a look at that too while you're here? Isaac agreed, and the next day he found himself back at Emma's immaculate house. This time she greeted him at the door herself, dressed in slim black pants and a simple blouse that somehow looked both casual and elegant. Thank you for coming, she said, leading him inside. Can I get you some coffee, water? Coffee would be great, actually, Isaac replied, realizing he'd skipped his morning cup in the rush to get Lily to school on time. In the kitchen, Emma prepared 2 cups from a machine that looked complicated enough to launch a rocket. So how's Lily? She asked, handing him a steaming mug. Did she win her soccer game? Isaac was touched that she remembered. They tied, but she scored a goal, so in her mind they definitely won. Emma smiled. That's what matters. You know, I played soccer in college. It teaches such great life skills. You played soccer. Lily would love to hear that. She's convinced girls make better soccer players than boys. Smart girl, Emma said with a laugh. I'd be happy to give her some tips sometime. The offer hung in the air between them, unexpected and intriguing. Before Isaac could respond, Emma cleared her throat and gestured toward the laundry room. Shall we check on that washing machine? As Isaac worked on the permanent repair, Emma kept him company, asking about his other jobs and telling him about her own work. She was indeed the CEO of a tech company she'd founded 6 years ago, specializing in educational software. I started it after teaching for a few years, she explained. I saw how many kids were struggling with traditional methods and thought there had to be a better way to reach them. That's impressive, Isaac said, genuinely meaning it. From teacher to CEO, Emma shrugged. It was a lot of luck and privilege, honestly. My parents could afford to send me to good schools, and I had savings to fall back on while the company got off the ground. She paused. Not everyone gets those advantages. Her self-awareness was refreshing. Most wealthy clients Isaac worked for never acknowledged the head start they'd had in life. After fixing the washing machine, Isaac examined the dishwasher, which turned out to need a simple adjustment. As he was packing up his tools, Emma seemed hesitant, as if she wanted to say something more. "So this might seem out of the blue," she finally said, "but I'm hosting a fundraiser next weekend for a program that provides STEM education to underserved schools. There's going to be a demonstration area where kids can try out different hands-on activities. I thought Lily might enjoy it if you both wanted to come." Isaac blinked, surprised by the invitation. "That's very kind of you." "The kids' activities are from 3 to 5 on Saturday," Emma continued. "Very casual, no pressure at all." "I think Lily would love that," Isaac found himself saying. "Thank you." On the drive home, he wondered if he'd made a mistake accepting the invitation. What would he and Lily even wear to an event at a mansion? Would Lily feel out of place among the children of the wealthy and powerful? But the genuine warmth in Emma's eyes when she extended the invitation had made it hard to refuse. That Saturday, Isaac dressed in the nicest clothes he owned, dark jeans without any wear at the knees, and a button-down shirt he normally saved for parent-teacher conferences. Lily wore her favorite dress, insisting on adding her soccer medal as an accessory. "Do you think they'll have robots?" Lily asked as they drove to Hillcrest Estates. "Hannah from school went to a STEM thing and they had robots you could program." "Maybe," Isaac said, smiling at her excitement. "Just remember your manners, okay? This is going to be different from the school science fair." But his concerns about Lily feeling out of place vanished the moment they arrived. Emma met them at the door, dressed in a simple blue dress, her hair loose around her shoulders. She knelt down to Lily's level with a warm smile. "You must be Lily. I'm Emma. Your dad told me you like soccer and space. Is that right?" Lily nodded shyly, then pointed to her medal. "I scored 2 goals last week." "Wow, that's amazing. I played soccer too, you know. Maybe sometime I can show you a few tricks." Emma stood up and smiled at Isaac. "I'm so glad you both could come. The activities are set up in the backyard." The backyard had been transformed into an interactive science playground. Various stations offered hands-on experiments and demonstrations. Children of all ages moved excitedly between activities, many accompanied by adults in expensive-looking casual wear. Lily's eyes widened at the sight. "Daddy, look. They do have robots." "Go ahead," Isaac said, and Lily darted toward a table where kids were building small robots from kits. "She's adorable," Emma said, watching Lily join the group. "Just like you described. Thanks for inviting us. This is incredible. It's a cause close to my heart. I was lucky to have access to good education, but so many kids don't." She hesitated. "Would you like something to drink?" "There's a bar set up for the adults." As they walked toward the bar, Emma greeted various guests, introducing Isaac simply as a friend without mentioning his profession. He appreciated that she didn't define him by his job. Throughout the afternoon, Emma kept checking in on them, making sure Lily was enjoying herself and that Isaac felt comfortable. He watched her move effortlessly among the wealthy donors, speaking passionately about educational access and technology. In her element, she was magnetic. "Your girlfriend is really nice," Lily said later as they watched Emma demonstrating a virtual reality program to a group of children. "She's not my girlfriend, Lily," Isaac corrected gently. "She's just a friend." Lily gave him a look that was far too knowing for a 7-year-old. "She keeps looking at you when you're not looking. That's what Hannah does with Tyler at school, and she likes him." Isaac felt heat rise to his cheeks. "It's not like that." But later, when Emma found a moment to join them at the refreshment table, he caught himself noticing the way her eyes crinkled when she smiled, and how she leaned slightly toward him when they spoke. He quickly dismissed the observation. A woman like Emma could have her pick of successful, wealthy men. She was just being kind to the handyman and his daughter. As the event wound down, Emma walked them to their truck. "Did you have fun, Lily?" she asked. Lily nodded enthusiastically. "I built a robot and made a tornado in a bottle and learned about black holes. Dad, can we come to the next one too?" Emma laughed. "I would love that. Actually," she added, her expression turning slightly hesitant, "I have 2 tickets to the Science Museum's new space exhibition next weekend. They're doing special demonstrations of the Mars rover technology. I thought Lily might enjoy it, but if you both have plans, I completely understand." Isaac looked at Lily's hopeful face and then back at Emma. Was this just kindness toward a child who clearly shared her interests, or was there something more? "That sounds great," he said. "As long as you let us buy lunch afterward." Emma's smile widened. "Deal." The Science Museum outing was followed by a picnic in the park when Lily mentioned she'd never flown a proper kite. Then came an invitation to a small dinner party at Emma's house, where Isaac was surprised to find most of the guests were Emma's former teacher colleagues rather than wealthy business associates. Each encounter left him more intrigued by this woman who moved between worlds with such apparent ease. "Why is Emma so rich if she was a teacher?" Lily asked one evening as Isaac tucked her into bed. "Mrs. Rodriguez says teachers don't make a lot of money, and that's why we bring her supplies sometimes." "Emma created a company that makes special learning programs for kids," Isaac explained. "She was lucky that her idea worked out and made money. She's smart," Lily declared, "and pretty, and she likes you." "We're just friends, Lily. Hannah says grown-ups are really bad at knowing when people like them." Isaac chuckled and kissed her forehead. "Go to sleep, smarty pants." But later, as he sat alone in the living room, Lily's words echoed in his mind. Over the past month, he and Emma had been spending more time together, both with and without Lily. They'd fallen into a comfortable friendship, exchanging texts throughout the week and sharing stories of their days. Emma never seemed to care about the vast economic differences between them. She was just as happy eating burgers at his favorite local diner as she was taking them to upscale restaurants. Still, Isaac was careful to maintain some boundaries, insisting on paying his own way when possible and never taking advantage of her generosity. The turning point came on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. Isaac was at Emma's house installing some shelving in her home office when his phone rang. It was Lily's school. She had a fever and needed to be picked up. "I'm sorry," he told Emma, already packing up his tools. "I have to go get Lily." "Of course," Emma said. "Is she okay?" "Probably just a cold, but they can't keep her at school with a fever." Emma hesitated. "My next meeting was canceled. If it would help, I could drive you to pick her up, so you don't have to come back for your truck later." The offer was so thoughtful that Isaac accepted without thinking twice. At the school, Lily's face lit up when she saw both of them waiting in the office. "Emma. Did you come to see my school?" "I came to help your dad pick you up," Emma explained. "I hear you're not feeling well." In the truck, Lily dozed off quickly, her cheeks flushed with fever. Emma glanced back at her with concern. "Poor thing. Do you need to stop for any medicine or supplies?" "I should have children's fever reducer at home," Isaac said, "but I'll need to cancel my afternoon appointments." "I could stay with her," Emma offered suddenly. "If you trust me, that is. I know you need the work and I don't have any meetings until tomorrow." Isaac looked at her in surprise. "You want to watch Lily? Only if you're comfortable with it. I used to babysit all through college and I was a teacher, remember? I know what to do with a sick child." The fact that Emma, a CEO who probably had a calendar full of more important things, would offer to spend her afternoon caring for his sick child touched Isaac deeply. "If you're sure, that would be a huge help," he said. "I have 2 critical jobs this afternoon that I really can't reschedule." At home, Isaac showed Emma where everything was while Lily changed into pajamas. He wrote down his schedule and emergency contacts, feeling both grateful and slightly guilty. "You're sure about this?" he asked one more time. "Positive," Emma said. "Go, we'll be fine." When Isaac returned 4 hours later, he found Emma and Lily on the couch under a blanket, watching a documentary about sea creatures. Lily's fever had broken, and she was animatedly explaining to Emma why octopuses were her new favorite animal. "Daddy," Lily exclaimed when she saw him. Emma made soup from scratch, not from a can, and she knows all about octopuses because she went scuba diving with them. "Is that so?" Isaac said, hanging up his jacket. "It sounds like you had a good time despite being sick. The best, can Emma stay for dinner?" Isaac looked at Emma questioningly. She smiled. "I'd love to if it's not an imposition." Over a simple dinner of grilled cheese sandwiches, Lily's request, Isaac found himself studying Emma. In his modest kitchen, wearing jeans and a borrowed apron, she seemed completely at ease. There was no artifice, no sense that she was slumming it or playing at being ordinary. She was just Emma, intelligent, kind, and somehow more beautiful in this setting than in her elegant home. After Lily went to bed, Isaac and Emma sat on the porch with mugs of tea. "Thank you again," he said. "You really saved me today. I enjoyed it," Emma replied. "Lily is wonderful company." She paused, looking out at the quiet street. "You've done an amazing job with her." "I'm doing my best. It's not always easy." "The best things rarely are." Emma turned to face him. "Isaac, can I ask you something personal?" "Sure." "What happened with Lily's mom? You've never mentioned her." Isaac took a deep breath. He rarely discussed this with anyone. "We were young, college sweethearts. When Lily came along, I was ready to be a father, but Angela wasn't ready to be a mother. She stuck around for about a year, then decided parenthood wasn't for her. The last I heard, she was living in California." "I'm sorry," Emma said softly. "That must have been difficult." "It was, but honestly, it was harder on Angela than me." She was torn between what she thought she should want and what she actually wanted. In the end, I respect that she made the choice that was right for her, even though it wasn't the one I'd have chosen. He looked at Emma. "What about you? You mentioned once that you wanted children." Emma's expression grew pensive. "I was engaged a few years ago to someone I'd been with since college. We had everything planned: the wedding, the house, the future kids. Then I found out he'd been cheating with his assistant for over a year." She gave a small, sad smile. "The classic cliché, right? Anyway, it made me reevaluate everything. I threw myself into growing the company and dating took a backseat." "I'm sorry that happened to you," Isaac said. "He sounds like an idiot," Emma laughed. "He was, but sometimes I wonder if I've been hiding behind my work. It's easier to control than relationships." "I understand that. After Angela left, I didn't date for years. It was simpler to focus on Lily and work." "And now?" Emma asked, her voice quieter. Isaac met her gaze. "Now I'm starting to think maybe I've been missing out." The air between them seemed to change, charged with unspoken possibility. Emma leaned slightly closer, and Isaac found himself doing the same. When their lips met, it was gentle and questioning at first, then deeper as they both leaned into the kiss. When they pulled apart, Emma's cheeks were flushed. "I've been wanting to do that for weeks," she admitted. "Really?" Isaac couldn't hide his surprise. "I thought maybe you were just being kind to the handyman and his daughter." Emma shook her head. "Isaac, you're one of the most genuine, hardworking, loving people I've ever met. How could I not be attracted to you? But we're from such different worlds." "Are we?" "I grew up in a small town in Ohio. My parents were teachers. This wealth is new to me, and honestly, sometimes I still feel like I'm playing dress-up in someone else's life." She took his hand. "When I'm with you and Lily, I feel real. Like I can just be Emma, not CEO Emma Harrison." The honesty in her eyes was unmistakable. Isaac leaned forward and kissed her again, allowing himself to believe that maybe this impossible thing was actually happening. The following months brought a gradual blending of their lives. Emma became a regular presence at Lily's soccer games. Isaac helped Emma create a vegetable garden behind her too-perfect house. They established a routine where some nights were spent at his modest home, others at her estate. There were challenges, of course. Some of Emma's business associates raised eyebrows at her relationship with a handyman. A few of Isaac's friends made comments about him hitting the jackpot. Lily had moments of insecurity, worrying that Emma's nice house meant she didn't like their home, but they faced each obstacle together. Emma made it clear to her social circle that Isaac was her equal partner, not an accessory or a charity case. Isaac learned to accept that Emma's wealth was part of her without letting it define their relationship. And they both reassured Lily that homes came in all shapes and sizes, but what mattered was the love inside them. 6 months after their first kiss on the porch, Isaac was replacing a light fixture in Emma's kitchen when he found himself thinking about how natural it felt to be there. Lily had her own room at Emma's house now, decorated with space posters and soccer trophies. Isaac had a workbench in the garage. Emma had a designated drawer at his house and kept her favorite cereal in his pantry. "What are you thinking about so intensely up there?" Emma asked, entering the kitchen with a bag of groceries. "Us," Isaac replied honestly, stepping down from the ladder. "How well this is working," Emma smiled. "It is, isn't it?" She set the groceries on the counter and wrapped her arms around his waist. "I've been thinking too. About how I don't want to keep dividing our time between two houses." Isaac's heart skipped a beat. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying I love you and Lily more than I ever thought possible. I'm saying I want us to be a family, officially." She pulled back slightly to meet his eyes. "I'm not proposing exactly unless you want me to, but I am asking if you'd consider us living together, all of us." "Where?" Isaac asked, practical as always. "Your place is beautiful, but actually," Emma interrupted, "I was thinking we could look for a new place together. Something that would be ours from the start. Not too big, not too small. With a yard for Lily and a good workshop for you." The thoughtfulness of her suggestion, that she wasn't simply expecting him and Lily to move into her world, but wanted to create something new together, confirmed what Isaac already knew in his heart. "I have a better idea," he said. "Marry me." Emma's eyes widened. "What?" "Marry me," Isaac repeated, more confident now. "I love you, Emma. I love the way you listen to Lily's endless stories about rocks and space. I love how you never make me feel less than you despite all your success. I love that you can run a multi-million-dollar company and still get excited about building pillow forts." He took her hands in his. "I don't have a ring right now, and this isn't the romantic proposal you deserve, but I know I want to spend my life with you." Tears filled Emma's eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "Of course, yes." Their kiss was interrupted by the sound of the front door opening, followed by the patter of running feet. "Dad, Emma, I got in on my science project." Lily burst into the kitchen, waving a paper with a bright red at the top. "That's wonderful, sweetheart," Emma said, discreetly wiping her eyes. Isaac knelt down to Lily's level. "Lily, Emma and I have some news. I've asked her to marry me and she said yes. How would you feel about us all living together as a family?" Lily looked between them, her expression serious. "Does this mean Emma will be my stepmom?" "Yes," Emma said softly. "If that's okay with you." A smile bloomed across Lily's face. "Finally. Hannah said it was taking forever for you two to figure it out." Isaac and Emma both laughed, and Lily joined them in a three-way hug. Standing in the kitchen, arms around the two most important people in his world, Isaac marveled at how his life had changed. From a struggling single dad fixing a wealthy stranger's washing machine to finding a partner who valued him for exactly who he was, it was more than he'd ever dared to hope for. 1 year later, Isaac and Emma stood hand in hand in the backyard of their new home, a comfortable 4-bedroom house with a large yard, a workshop for Isaac, and an office for Emma. Around them, friends and family celebrated their first anniversary and the official adoption papers that now made Emma legally Lily's mother. "Did you ever imagine this is where we'd end up when you came to fix my washing machine?" Emma asked, leaning her head against his shoulder. Isaac smiled, watching as Lily demonstrated soccer moves to a group of admiring younger children. "Not in my wildest dreams, but I'm grateful every day that your machine broke down." "Me too," Emma said, "though I have a confession to make." "What's that?" "I'm pretty sure I could have fixed that washing machine myself. I watched enough YouTube videos about it. But the maintenance company couldn't come for days, and Margaret from the Homeowners Association recommended this handyman who was supposed to be really good with his hands." She grinned up at him. "She wasn't wrong," Isaac laughed. "So you're saying our entire relationship is based on a washing machine that might not have actually needed fixing? I prefer to think of it as the universe giving me a push in the right direction." Emma's expression grew more serious. "I needed someone to show me what really matters in life. You and Lily did that. And we needed someone to show us that dreams can come true," Isaac replied, pulling her close. Even for a poor handyman and his daughter. Not poor, Emma corrected gently. Rich in all the ways that truly count. As they shared a kiss under the string lights of their new backyard, surrounded by the family they had built together, Isaac knew she was right. Some things couldn't be measured in dollars and cents. Some riches, love, family, belonging were beyond price. And sometimes, the most unexpected repairs could fix not just machines, but hearts as well.